Stewart Bridge even met its demise after the lynching. In 1942, two-thirds of the bridge were taken apart and the city council decided to sell out the remaining steel to salvage companies. Now Stewart Road replaces the bridge, but the steel bracing is seen underneath the overpass covering the trail. Bridges did not fare well on the MKT Railroad, which started out with 22, 5 of which were made of steel. In 1955, Hope was riding the rail legally, built a fire that got out of control and ignited the bridge half a mile south of the MKT station. An MKT train crashed through the flames on the bridge. The engineer and 3 other crew members had to jump from the moving train. The association between crime and the railroad does not end here. In 1988, arson was committed on the 3 bridges that were part of the old MKT rail line before it was turned into a park and nature trail. 2 of the bridges were destroyed and another one was damaged. Police suspected the arsonists were opponents of the park project. Farmers around the former MKT rail complained about the park project, not wanting 4-wheel drive vehicles from the trail going through the fields. Despite assurances from park planners that once a trail this would not happen, farmers believed that there would not be adequate police regulation on the trails. In my personal history, driving vehicles on the trails is why they were created. Ever since I was little, my family would take me down to a camping place called Chadwick. These were no ordinary camping trips, however. Chadwick is designed specifically for dirt bike and ATV riders. Since I was about 6, I've been trained on how to ride these machines. I spent the majority of my years taking my ATV on easy trails like this one to what we call the creek. But as I got older, I was required to go on harder trails like this one. The pattern I find in my personal history on trails and the MKT trails history is one of closure and contemplation. Not only was riding ATVs fun to do, but I loved the seclusion of nature and the beauty of the woods as they blurred past me. It was easy to spend hours watching the flames of the campfire or lean back and look at the massive amount of stars impossible to see in the city. Chadwick has always been a place of contemplation for me, and each experience was thought-provoking, even when I was little. Ever since I was 14, Chadwick has been a different experience for me. Even though it is not the same, I continue to go back every few years, hoping to find closure on such a meaningful part of my childhood. Columbia is an extremely historic place, its streets and buildings reflecting that history. The recent unearthing of Scott's story, Columbia is also trying to find closure on the trails in an attempt to atone for sins to make the MKT once again a place of beauty and contemplation. Chadwick is in the Mark Twain National Forest in southern Missouri. Throughout Missouri, there are numerous Mark Twain references and tribute.
Mockingbird, can't you see? Little girl got a hold on me like glue. Baby, I'm howling for you. Yeah. Throw the ball to the stick, swing and miss and catch us mid-strike too. Baby, I'm howling for you.
Mark Twain goes hand in hand with the MKT. One of the many reasons the rail line failed in Columbia was because outbound traffic from the Mark Twain coal mine ended in the 1970s. Mark Twain Residence Hall is located on Stewart Road, right across the street from the MKT trail and the former bridge where Scott was lynched. The MKT trail captures the essence of Missouri nature that was such an inspiration to Twain, allowing his characters to go on travels and adventures throughout the wild of Missouri, much like these trails allow users to travel. Painter Thomas Hart Benton even depicted a scene from Twain's novel Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Not only does this picture show a riverboat, it also shows young white Huck Finn holding hands with Black Jim. This depicts Twain's progressive thought process concerning race, especially in the Midwest and South. Recently, Twain's legacy has been altered with the censoring of racist language in Huck Finn. Yet this is not the first time that it has been censored. Ever since its publication, Twain has been called many names for polluting the minds of children with vulgar language. Twain captured the way blacks were spoken to in his novels. This is what children heard for years growing up. The periodic outrage at the language in the books shows a reluctance to acknowledge racism and injustice. This is true with James Scott, as it has taken 88 years for his death certificate to be fixed, and a story that shames Columbia to fully come out.